Hello. In this video, I'm going to be showcasing how to use insights to discover when your average booking lead time window or your booking window in general is changing and what to do with it. So there's a ton of information and data packed right here, only in the Insights dashboard, let alone elsewhere in Insights across the board here and beyond. So there's a ton to dig into, but one of the specific things that I try to recommend users use to better understand how their portfolio books up throughout the year is by reviewing that booking lead time, booking window, whatever you want to call it. We define that as how many days before the initial check-in date of a booking did a guest book. So if somebody booked on, July 1st for a stay date arriving August 1st, the booking lead time would be 31 days before that guest is actually checking in. So typically, for most markets, you'll see a range of booking windows. More resort destinations that are harder to get to typically have a bigger booking window versus an urban city market has a last minute, 1 or 2 day booking window. So depending on your market, your portfolio, the types of inventory that you support, this will all change, but it's really good to understand not only throughout the year, but also year after year, how your booking window changes for your properties. So where I would go for that information here in Insights is directly on this initial overview page. So everything that's populated here is good to go. We're looking at insights for the next 12 months, overall stats here at a high level. We're really familiar with total revenue here, total occupancy, average daily rate as we scroll down, revenue per available night, and then we get to median booking lead time by check-in date. So if you need a refresher, we've got a tooltip here to help you understand how this data is calculated and really what to do with it. But basically what we're looking at here is these are all check-in dates into the future. So right now is June, this is 12 months into the future, and this is on average per check-in date throughout each of these months, how often and how far out people book their stays. So it makes sense that for the rest of this year into next year, these numbers increase. At this point, anybody that's booked any bookings for my listings in January of 2025, which is 6-7 months away, booked about 338 days in advance. And you can see our June, which is the current month window, is down to 37. So as you pick up more bookings, as you get closer to that check-in date and that arrival date, this will naturally decrease as things average out, again, depending on your market and your portfolio. So this is for future dates, pretty good to understand, but what I really want to understand is what happened last year. So I'm going to toggle off this year and then bring in last year. And here you can see all the way from a year ago up until really now, again, that 37 days for June, how far out people are booking my properties. So as we ramped up into April, May, and June for my portfolio, we started to notice that people were booking further and further away from their check-in date. So a month away, or even a little bit more than a month for stay dates in June, about 25 days for May, and that was only 11 in April. So what I want to do with this information is really ensure that I'm prepared from a pricing and booking activity expectation standpoint to really understand when I should expect bookings to come in on a regular basis. So if I was going to go into, let's say, May of next year, about a year away, I would really expect most of my bookings for the month to start coming in about 25 days before that check-in date. So anything from May 1 that I'm looking at, I would pull back into early April and say, okay, now is really when I'm going to see the prime window, the prime booking activity for those May stay dates in early May, and then have that kind of roll through naturally through the month. So as you're doing your regular reviews, this is important to keep in mind, especially giving you some peace of mind, whether or not you are booking up too quickly, booking up too slowly. Always gut check how far away you are from the check-in dates and on average, how often guests end up booking your stays. This certainly fluctuates year over year, but this should also inform your time-based adjustment strategy on our dynamic pricing tool. So if people are on average booking their stays for May 25 days in advance, it doesn't make sense to start discounting your pricing for May 50 days in advance because people haven't really gotten to that window yet. Whereas we know for, like January, February, March, April here, people are really only booking maybe a week, 2 weeks in advance. So that's really your prime window. So when you're doing these reviews and making changes, really focus on the next 3 to 4 weeks as you move through these months, because that's really your prime booking window for the majority of your stays that are going to fall into those check-in dates. What's cool about insights is you can layer this on top of previous years. So for this market, you can see a common theme we've seen in a lot of markets globally over the past couple of years. Average booking lead time has decreased across the board. So we are seeing in most markets people book closer and closer to arrival for a variety of reasons. But this is really good information to understand on a rolling basis for your portfolio. And I would recommend checking in on this at least monthly to gut check really how far away people are booking your properties, especially compared to prior years.